Hey, everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest, you should know very well. He is the juggernaut, all the way from the UK, Luke Sandoe. How are you, sir?
I'm really good. It's not even, it is actually just a coincidence. So I'm wearing my own Juggernaut t-shirt as we speak.
Okay.
It was a legitimate mistake. Let me explain.
Yeah.
I meant to put on my Brian Shaw shirt today, and they look exactly the fucking same. And I put the wrong one on. Got dressed in the dark.
Why were you going to wear a Brian Shaw shirt?
Because I like Brian Shaw.
Well, I mean, he's a cool dude, but I mean, you're Luke Sandoe. Come on. I mean, I'd wear
Yeah,
Luke.
but I'm that even without the shirt, you know? I'm that when I'm asleep. So
Hey, now people are going to ask me, where can they get these? So let's get that out of the way. Where can they get these?
redcon1.com, but I believe they're sold out because we're launching other ones down the line. I think it was just a one-off thing.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's literally
Luke,
not me trying to sell more t-shirts because they don't have a name.
well, I mean, we only have a few days till Christmas. I don't know if people would have been able to get them in time anyway for gifts.
Maybe just go to the website and check it out anyway, and use code Sandoe20 while you're at it. Just for your Christmas needs.
I don't know. Okay, well, Luke, we're here to talk about 2019 that's passed and 2020 that's coming up. So 2019 was one hell of a year for you. I consider this your breakout year, the year you got on what I call the A-list. Would you agree?
It was very up and down this year. Very up and down. I'd say it was the best year I've had professionally, and by far the worst year I've had personally.
Really?
Yeah, in terms of which maybe would explain some of the ups and downs, but probably not. But yeah, it was. I think it was my breakout year purely because of what happened at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
And me going head to head with Dexter at Tampa. Those two things. Yeah, I think were the main goals, which were the highlights of the year.
Yeah, because let's be real, you were third place to Arnold to the same two guys that were 1 and 2 at the Olympia.
Yeah,
6 months later. So it's not like you were third place in a crappy lineup. This was very close to the Olympia lineup of this year.
Yeah,
and Tampa, you gave Dexter a good fight, and Dexter is one of the greatest bodybuilders of my generation.
He's pretty good, isn't he? He's pretty good.
Mr. Olympia, 5-time Arnold Classic champion, all-time pro wins. I mean, come on.
I mean, I would say on paper, and probably also definitely on paper is the greatest of all time, and his physique as well is one of.
Right. Yeah. We can argue all day about who's the best ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, you had a great, and the Olympia didn't quite go as planned. I mean, I thought had you looked the way you did at either of those other two shows, you certainly would have been a few places higher.
Yeah, but I would have done okay. Yeah, so
top 5, I think you would have made.
I think maybe in my head this year's it ended on quite a downer from my perspective, but the year as a whole has been incredible, and I've loved the whole thing, and the whole thing was a learning experience as well, because it ended with the biggest possible high and a pretty shitty low. But there was another higher. It wasn't that. It sounds negative in my head, but what that kind of in my mind, what that means is it's like I know what to fix now, and I have fixed some of the things, especially in my personal life.
Yeah.
And I knew what it took to get me to that high, and I feel like mentally I'm ready to attack that mindset again. So I think a lot of it was mental. If that makes sense.
Well, I'm not going to delve into every little facet of your personal life, but you can't just throw that out there and not give us a little bit of info. So what can you tell us about what was going on in your personal life?
Just like female stuff, to be fair. So I came out of a very, very good, quite a long-term relationship that I thought was going to be going a lot further, as far as you can, basically, with the relationship. And I was very happy. Everything was great. It's been very rocky this year for numerous reasons. Obviously, that also ended badly.
These things usually do end badly.
And kind of as a result, I've decided to pick up my life from one county and move to another. So now in terms of a contest prep mode, it used to take me between 40 minutes and an hour, and an hour to 4 hours to get home every day.
Yeah.
And it was just because of where I was. I had to come over all this like London traffic over the bridge with the Thames River. So every day on the way home, honestly, it would take me between 2 and 3 hours every night. A good night would be an hour. A shit night would be 4 hours.
Jeez.
So I decided to move. So I've relocated. I've basically just have a new life, and my life just happens to be 8 minutes away from where I train anyway.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm much happier here, and and for me, from a bodybuilding perspective and a personal perspective, this is like a brand new, fresh start for me.
Right on.
I think
Can I ask? Can I ask at what point in the year did the breakup happen? I'm just curious.
It happened right 4 days before I had to fly out to the Arnold Classic.
Oh, geez.
So I'd already done. I was fine for the Arnold, and then
Yeah.
I deteriorated for the next two shows with all the travel on top. Not that it matters. I didn't let the mental thing affect me, but I think it does just without you really noticing. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but that's when it happened. And then I did kind of declined a little bit after that. Picked up in the summer, did really well at Tampa. Then it declined again, and then it's like there's a pattern there, isn't there?
I mean,
Pattern, but I'm not suggesting that's a cause,
yeah.
but that's not in my life anymore anyway.
Wow.
And I'm in a new house, which is fucking sweet, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw a video that you did. You were cooking breakfast a couple months ago. I don't know when this was, and you were talking about the situation with the traffic coming back from. Is it? Are you still at the same gym, Muscleworks?
Same gym, yeah, same gym.
Orpington.
Muscleworks, Orpington.
So there's two Muscleworks in London, right? Am I correct? And that's one of them.
There's two in central London within kind of the main hub of London. We're on the outside of London, the county Kent. So we're a little bit further out.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I mean, because that sealed the deal as far as I'm concerned that you are a true meathead, because only a really true dedicated bodybuilder would move house to be closer to the best gym in the country.
Yeah. But I mean, luckily I was training there anyway, and all my friends are in this area too. So socially, or domestically, or when you call it that, it's put me in a fucking good place.
Yeah.
I'm so close to the gym, I don't have to go anywhere. It's like I'm basically now a hermit. That's what I've done.
Well, you're 8 minutes away, you said?
Yeah, 8 minutes. That's how long.
So
that's with traffic.
When Rami was training at Oxygen Gym, I think Rami literally lived across the street. So yeah, even better. But
see, look how big you got. So I reckon it's down to how close you are to the gym. He was that big because he was like 2 minutes away, and I'm 8 minutes away, so I can get at least that big if you measure that.
Yeah. So you talk about how the year ended badly. I mean, Tampa. I thought you looked damn good in Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa. I mean, Tampa was actually I didn't like the Tampa look as much, but I was drier and harder at that show.
Yeah.
But I was just flatter and not round, which I was at the Arnold.
Yeah, I'm saying the Arnold was just damn. I mean, if you would look like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Arnold look was pretty easy to attain. That sounds really bad. All that meant was I started my prep nice and fresh, so I responded well, and I didn't have to come down too hard. I didn't have to bounce anywhere. It just the body fat just came off. That was it. So I didn't have any problem staying full or flat. Tampa we just wanted to push the condition from that, and then ended up coming a little bit flat. So we need to find that balance.
So I'm curious, between Arnold and Tampa, you had a good 5 months there. Did you hold your condition at that time,
no,
or did you go?
No, because I did. I then went on to do Australia and then Indiana.
Okay.
And then to the end of March, probably April. Sorry, was when I kind of stopped. I had a couple of weeks rest, and then put on a bit more size, and then started coming down for Tampa. But Tampa, we had to crash diet a little bit. Because I think it was about 5 weeks out from Tampa, we all of a sudden, no, it was even closer. I realized I wasn't going to get to the Olympia on points. So I was like, and the only show left that I could reasonably do was Tampa.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Vancouver as well, but that was too close.
Right.
So we were like, I need to do Tampa. So we had to really pull me down really hard.
Yeah. So what is the formula that you discovered for yourself so that next show, which we'll talk about your next show soon.
The contest prep for the Arnold, she was living with me the whole time. And it was fucking brilliant. That was basically, I was just peaceful and it was easier mentally. I have that now again. So I think, I've got everything I need right by the gym. I can actually focus. There's nothing distracting and I'm happy here. So I think it's in the same mindset. My home life is calm. So I can focus more on the bodybuilding. There's nothing pulling that focus away.
Now, this is a random question, but did your ex cook all your food, or have you always cooked your own food?
Nope, I've always cooked my own food. I just like cooking my own food. It was more just everything else. She just made it like made it easy. She was just there. She was just helping me. She was just by being there and her being happy. I was like, brilliant.
Yeah.
It was just mentally good.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard it before, but a lot of times a stable quote unquote home life really does help a bodybuilding career. When you think back to Dorian when he was Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney when he was Mr. Olympia, they came home and it was just their stable family life and everything was chill.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, but it's kind of more of I'm on my own now as well, for the most part. So I say alone right now because Ben, my training partner's here from Texas right now.
Texas.
Yeah, Ben. Ben Chow. He lives in Texas now. Long story. But basically, I just have a peaceful home life, which I haven't for a while. It's been rocky behind the scenes. And it's not even a reason for anything. It's not a reason that I did well. It's not a reason I didn't do so well. It was just there. Now it's not. So I can actually just focus on that, which is what I need to do.
Any man who's watching this who has ever been in a relationship, be it a girlfriend or a wife or whatever, when things are rough and you're fighting all the time, it sucks. It's just it really infects every aspect of your life. It really does.
Yeah, and it's not people like it's not a question of being like, oh yeah, just ignore it. Well, you can't. No. It's pulling focus. It's not drawing your attention. Yeah. You're literally pulling the focus away from where it needs to be. And you can still do all your meals. You can still do your training. You can still do your cardio. But if your mind is not 100% in the game, it doesn't work. The formula doesn't click. I don't know why. And it just certainly didn't for me.
Well, I got a question. I know, like when my wife is angry with me at times over the years, I get nauseated and I have no appetite. Some people are the opposite. When they're upset like that, they eat a bunch of crap food. Do you fall into either of those categories?
Yeah, I don't want to eat at all. I just do not want to eat anything.
Yeah,
I'm just like fuck. And I know my training isn't as good. I know it, and that pisses me off too. Yeah.
Well, clearly you've been eating because I've been watching your Instagram, which is Luke Sandoe. Everybody, easy enough.
You're talking about my face. A big fat.
No, you're in really good shape because you're posting videos and pictures with tank tops on, and I'm really surprised at how lean you are at 300 pounds. Those are all recent pictures that you've been putting up, right? And videos. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got a little bit of a frog in my throat. We've all got they're I think anything I post is pretty recent unless it's obviously a pre-contest picture.
Yeah. So
because most of it I just screenshot from Redcon 1 videos and just post it out. So.
That's fair enough. But based on you've been 300 pounds before, correct? Many times. You've weighed 300 pounds before, correct?
Oh yeah.
Is this a different look though? Are you leaner at 300 now than you've ever been?
Yeah, I'm just not fat, basically. Yeah. It's we'll see. I might look shit, or it might work. I haven't really tried to push. I've just been eating to the point where I'm full and maybe a little bit more, but I'm not force feeding, hammering my training, and I'm not taking the piss of anything else at all. So I'm hoping, because I want to get that muscle from training, has a different look. Yeah. And you wait. I think when you are a bodybuilder that builds your muscle and your physique with training, that's when you can actually build and bring up body parts. Right. You can't if you're a guy that just blows up and relies on drugs or whatever else. I think that's when you don't make the improvements in certain areas. Yeah, because everything grows where it should. It just grows. Yeah. So that's my focus this off season is kind of more so. I've been kind of doubling up on certain areas and just literally trying to build body parts.
I mean, which body parts are you still trying to really bring up? Because everything seems pretty well balanced.
Hamstrings from they're not shit. They're just not good. Yeah. Because they look good from the side and from the back. I just want them deeper and thicker. I want to bring my chest out more. It's not as thick. It's not as round and thick as my arms and shoulders.
Right.
Like some more of that translating to my chest. And midsection control. I'm going to be working a lot more on that. I think if I can make my waist come in maybe an inch smaller, everything else will look bigger anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of first of all, I got to back up because I want the other Americans to get this phrase right. What exactly does taking the piss mean? That's slang. That's one of your brick slang terms.
Is it taking the piss, making fun of?
Yeah.
Making fun of.
Okay. I mean, I hear it and I sort of pretend like I know what you're saying, but I don't. So now I do. Cool.
Making fun of or taking things to the extreme.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. By the way, Ben, I assumed Ben was Chinese until I saw him because his last name's Chow, but he's not, right?
He's fucking is Chinese. You've seen Ben.
He is Chinese.
He's Chinese. Look at this guy. He's not
like a giant,
but you know.
He's a big white dude.
It's a big white dude with smaller eyes.
Okay, gotcha.
I could be his off-season,
but
no, you must know Ben. You've met Ben. Ben, he's with me at all the expos.
Yeah,
he's backstage at Tampa.
You get to be my age. Yeah, I met him. I talked to him. But when you get to be my age, you'll start forgetting shit too.
Yeah.
But the training, I mean, I've been looking at the Redcon videos. I've been looking at your Instagram. The weights you have been using are just ridiculous. I saw a hack squat the other day with 11 plates aside. You're routinely incline barbell pressing 455 for sets. T-bar rows, I couldn't even count all the plates. I think it was like 10 or 11. Would you say you're stronger now than you've ever been?
On some lifts, yeah. So, definitely. And I've modified my training a little bit more. So kind of, what I've always done with my training, I kind of look at the body parts that I need to bring up, look at how I can train them all a little bit more often without them interfering with other body parts. So I don't want my lower back to be fucked by chucking in something like a deadlift midweek and then squats at both ends kind of thing. You're going to fuck your lower back. So this off season, I focused on those main, so whichever body part, focus on the main compound movements. But then I've also doubled up on the same body parts with other body parts. So it's a bit weird. It sounds shit, but if I tell you the split, you'll get what I mean. So,
well, now you got to tell me because everyone's going to want to know.
So, I've just told you my chest and hamstrings. I want to bring them up.
Yeah,
but I don't want a whole extra chest day, and I don't want a whole extra hamstring and quad day. Okay.
Yeah.
So I do quads on a Monday. Chest on a Monday, quads on a Tuesday with one hamstring movement. Wednesday off. Thursday I hit back, and when I do back, that's when I hit my RDLs at the end of back. So like a Dorian deadlift.
Yeah.
So just exactly how Dorian used to do it. But I just do a normal RDL instead. Yeah. That's my big hamstring movement for the week done. Midweek, not going to interfere with hamstrings because it's the same as doing like a rack pull, whatever. It's just more hamstring. Then it's Friday is arms. But before I do arms, I hit chest with some bullshit pump movements just to get a big load of blood. And then when I do triceps, I do a close grip bench and a dip. Because my triceps are already a strong part. I want to focus on my chest. And then I do buys. And then we got Saturday, which is hamstrings, which is all leg curls. That's it.
You say you just do leg curls on Saturday?
Yes, hamstrings. I do. Well, yeah. So I do seated leg curl. Sorry, I do seated leg curl, single leg curl, an inverse curl, or a glute ham raise, and maybe I'll do a very light stiff leg deadlift, so like a hinge move, hip extension as well.
What the heck is an inverse leg curl?
It's fucking cool, and it's a West Side barbell design.
Yeah.
So it's like like a glute ham raise.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it has the pad that comes up to meet you at the chest, so it kind of deloads you as you go down. So your whole body goes down. You curl your whole body up.
Oh, jeez.
Have you ever seen people do it on a lat pull-down machine with like a stick?
Oh, yeah.
It's that machine for that.
Your gym actually has a machine for that?
Yeah. It's by Watson. They make it. It's a West Side barbell design. It's really good.
Man, I got to get out to your gym. Shit. Speaking of gyms, you were out at the Redcon gym opening about a month or two in Florida. What is that place like?
It's really fucking cool. Okay, so I'll tell you the story of the gym. Aaron, the gym was for sale. It was a private gym, so it was very posh. Yeah. Which basically means very upper class, like fucking chandeliers in the bathrooms, that kind of place.
We know posh because of the Spice Girls, but go ahead.
Good. That's a good point. So when Aaron took it over, he wanted to turn it into a bodybuilding gym. So he basically took all the bullshit out in terms of the equipment, replaced a lot of the equipment. He still is constantly replacing the equipment, made it into a really good bodybuilding gym, but all the really classy lighting and the really amazing bathrooms and the fucking changing rooms like are phenomenal. He's kept all that in. So it's like a top class spa in the bathrooms and then a fucking awesome bodybuilding gym in the gym. And it's lit up like a nightclub.
Wow. Is this for the public? Can anybody join?
Yeah, anyone can train that, and it's a fucking good gym as well. Like I said, Aaron loves training, and he keeps updating the equipment all the time because he wants it to be a phenomenal gym, and it is.
Okay, so 2019 is pretty much done, clearly. So you did you take any time off from training and eating like a bodybuilder after the Olympia or no?
Yeah, I think I took about 3-4 weeks completely off, did nothing. And then for 2 weeks, I went to the gym and did just nothing, really. Just turned up, had a meal there. No, I just kind of started integrating myself back in that way. And then I kind of started training a little bit for about a month. And then I just ramped up. I said, right, I feel good, let's go. That was it.
Because you plan on competing May 3rd at is your next show, correct? The British Grand Prix. So are you in the off season for that now, or are you resting?
Yeah, I'm just kind of at the end of the off season, so I'm kind of downplaying. That doesn't make sense. So I'm kind of ramping down a little bit now towards the end.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm training with James Hollingshead now, as well as Ben. While he's both of them are brutally fucking strong.
Sure.
And everyone knows that if they watch James's videos too. Training with us, we're just battered. And James starts his off season in 2 weeks. I start my contest prep, so we're like, right, let's chill now, let's relax, let's pull back, put the brakes on before one of us dies, because otherwise I would have started a contest prep a broken man, and James would have started his off season a broken man. So we thought we're gonna have a couple of weeks light, and then attack it in January. So that's where we are now.
So is that MuscleWorks Orpington? Is that his gym now? Because I thought he trained at some place called King's Gym.
Yeah, I know he's just coming to train with me for a bit. He still does all his cardio, and I think he's still going to train some body parts at King's, but for the most part, we're going to train together at MuscleWorks.
And you guys are training partners regularly, like pretty much every workout?
Yeah, we're going to be. So he's going to be with me all the way up to my next show, and which is another huge improvement, as well as obviously the home life.
Yeah. Now, you talked about how you want, one of your Redcon videos, you talked about improvements you want to make, and you talked about overall size too. And, I'm sure a lot of people sort of did a double take when you said that, because you're 5'9" and about 270 on stage this year.
I don't think I was that heavy. I think I was 261 or 262 at the Olympia, I think.
Still.
But I wasn't dry. I wasn't hard. I was just a blob kind of. Yeah. So it doesn't really count. That doesn't count in my opinion.
Gotcha. But I mean, overall size. I mean, at the Arnold, when I saw you with the Arnold, I'm like, man, this he's about there. He doesn't need to be any bigger than this. This is like a winning package for any show, Arnold, Olympia, anything. When you talk about being bigger, do you mean bigger than that?
It's not so much bigger. It's the illusion of bigger, if that makes sense. So it's not just, I just want to be bigger. That's why I made the point of like, I do want overall size. Yeah, but I want it to be like, so there are body parts I want to bring up, and I want to be slightly bigger everywhere, which is really difficult to do. So just me training, I'm going to grow anyway. Yeah. Hopefully, that's the point.
Of course,
and doubling up on, and then paying attention to more body parts, they in theory should go a little bit quicker in my head. So that's what I mean by overall a bit bigger. But again, I'm paying attention to my midsection. I've said that. So I want that even tighter. Because I wanted to create that illusion that, yes, I am maybe a couple of pounds muscle in the right places, but I look bigger as well because of the waist. So it's like a balance thing for me. But yeah, obviously overall size has to be a goal. Otherwise, what's the fuck's the point?
So as far as the British Grand Prix, that's a show that you really wanted to do this year, but schedule-wise, it would have really screwed you up, correct?
So that I found out probably maybe 2 weeks to 10 days before that show that I had to do Tampa. That was the most realistic goal, and I was like, I'm not quite there yet that's why in the picture of me and Nathan on stage, I'm actually pretty hard because I was starting to come down for Tampa there.
Which show were you talking about with you and Nathan on stage?
British Grand Prix.
No, you didn't do the British Grand Prix this year, did you?
No, so
No.
that's why. No, I still got up on stage with Nate.
Oh, that's right.
I gave, I gave Nathan his first place trophy, so we did that little joking roast muscular. I'm pale as shit, but I look pretty dry. So that's because I was coming down for Tampa, but I wasn't ready for that show.
Because I remember people love to talk shit because that's it's our favorite pastime as human beings. But people said you skipped that show because you didn't want to compete against Nathan, which was ridiculous. I mean, you competed with Dexter, you competed with Brandon Curry and William Bonac. I mean, you guys are all great, but you're not afraid of competing with anybody at this stage.
No, I would have loved to have done that show, but that's the thing, because I knew Nathan was going to do it. Unless I was my best, I was going nowhere near going to beat him, nowhere fucking near. So I had to be 100%, and there wasn't enough time for me to be 100% for that show. It was too close.
Yeah, I mean, multiple shows a year, especially for someone that's big and heavy as you are, I think it takes more of a toll on someone your size to get in contest condition.
Yeah, when I got home from Tampa, I had jet lag like instantly. When I landed, I was like, "Oh, I'm fucked," but I'll be fine. A couple of days, I'll be good. And then like 3 weeks later, I still felt the same. I couldn't get out of bed properly. I was just like, "Fuck," and I couldn't wake up at the time. Like my whole routine up to that point before Tampa was so locked in. I felt really great. Every day was brilliant. And then I just lost that. I was still doing everything perfectly. It was just more. I wasn't bang on schedule. Like I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. I had no motivation to get out, and I just felt jet lagged. Would be the best way to describe it. The whole rest of the prep.
Wow. And that led right into the Olympia, obviously. That was
yeah. And nothing felt good. And because Chris was keeping my weight higher, I was really like groggy, and it was just, I don't know, it was just different. It was because obviously I was ready for Tampa, so he couldn't just keep pulling me down. I had to go up and then down, and I think maybe we just stayed up for too long, I guess.
I mean, Chris is very good at what he does, and people
brilliant.
Whenever an athlete doesn't look the way people we want you to look, or you don't place as high as the fans want you to place, a lot of times they'll go right to the coach and point the finger at him. But
no.
There's so many variables involved in a human body, especially with what you're doing here.
No, when Chris did absolutely everything he believed was the right decision, and I believed it too, and we thought it sounded really good in theory, and it just didn't pan out. I mean, whether it was just flat out the plan didn't work, or I was just tired and less responsive. Who knows? I'd like to think it was because I was not responsive, because I was still working really fucking hard.
Right.
So,
like obviously the best combination of condition and fullness so far that I've seen was Arnold. Tampa, I think the condition was there, but you were probably a little bit flat.
I was, yeah.
What was the situation at the Olympia as far as the balance between condition and fullness?
I don't think I was lean enough, actually, that time. I was, but not a lot, not by a lot, just by a tiny, tiny bit. And I was more watery, and I had a really horrible midsection at the Olympia. I just couldn't. 10 days out, I had like a food. I don't know if it was like a 24-hour sickness bug. It didn't affect anything. It was just I had one day where I couldn't eat. Maybe 2 days. I couldn't eat, a day and a half. I couldn't eat anything. It was like just horrendous both ends. Sweet.
Right.
Yeah, just
And this was the week. This was the week up leading up to the Olympia.
Was 10 days before.
Still
10 days before the Olympia, and after that, I just wasn't digesting food properly. My stomach was just not. I felt fine. My stomach just wasn't. I'd put a meal in, it would just sit there. It was like that from about 10 days out, and it wasn't normal again until about 2 weeks after the Olympia.
One thing I like about your videos is you do try to educate people on a lot of aspects. They don't even, all people think about is how much weight you're going to lift, how much drugs I'm going to use, but they don't think about things like maybe I'm not eating the right foods for me. Maybe I'm eating foods that my body doesn't really digest well or react to well. Have you figured out in the past year or two some foods that just don't work for you?
Not that don't work for me, but plenty that do really well. It's weird. So I mean, this is Chris's. He gave me this. I've been having this since literally before the Arnold, like the whole prep for the Arnold all the way until now. My carbs for breakfast are just 2 bagels. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I have eggs and egg whites and all that, like fruit, whatever. But those 2 bagels have been there the whole fucking year.
Wow.
Haven't
Even in prep, all through prep.
all the fucking year.
What about pasta?
No, we tried it. I didn't like that. It just made me feel like shit.
Rice, potatoes?
Rice. I don't eat potato really. But yeah, it was just I just eat like just rice was a good one. And we found that red meat digested really, really well.
Yeah. And you came up with a great easy meal for bodybuilders out there that they can make in batches, which was mac and cheese.
Oh, so good.
Mac and cheese and ground beef. You mix it all together.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, you know, like Kraft, the little microwaved ones.
Yeah.
Those are fucking amazing. With some like ground beef, with like some like whatever fucking flavor you want in there. Just pop that in the pasta, in the mac and cheese, and it's amazing.
Now, does mac and cheese? Because you said in the video tins. Does it come in actual?
We have tins, which we
cans, like metal cans.
I can.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. You don't have to mix it up and boil it in a pan like we do.
Nope. You just pop it in a bowl, bang it in with a spoon. Done.
Okay. Looks like the UK has some technological advances in macaroni and cheese that we haven't caught on to yet.
We're really technology. We're like Wakanda here. Everyone assumes we're backwards and medieval, and it's like Game of Thrones. It's not. We're more like iRobot here.
I know. So, what's the game plan for the next few months? If you're going to compete in the beginning of May, are you wrapping up your off season when, and when do you want to start your prep?
Prep starts in 2 weeks.
Oh, geez. Wow. That's a long prep. Is that 20 weeks?
I think it's 16, I think.
Wow, that's only 16 weeks? Wow, man, time is flying. No, that was January, February, April. Yeah, wow, damn, time flies. You're right.
Yeah, so I got 16 weeks, which is a little bit longer than I had for the Arnold.
Yeah, and that would give you a good time to decompress, let your body rest for a little bit. And
yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So now my training's right in the middle of that like deload, whatever the fuck you want to call it, phase, cruise phase, whatever you want to call it. I'm just not training hard at the moment. So we're kind of having that more rest for 2 weeks. Probably have Christmas week completely out of the gym.
Good.
And then start my prep 1st of January.
Yeah, I know this is another random thing, but I saw your gym got 220-pound dumbbells. Did they do that just for you?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, and they've got a set of 240-pound dumbbells coming just after Christmas. Yeah.
So I saw you doing dumbbell rows with the 220s on your IG. What else can you do with those damn things?
I have pressed them before, but I haven't.
Really?
I haven't got it on video yet. So.
Wow! Holy crap!
Oh no, maybe I do. I might have a really old video, but they were 100-kilo dumbbells.
That's 222 pounds, right?
Yeah, they're heavier, 100-kilo dumbbells.
222 and a half or something like that. Wow. I mean, that's Ronnie and a few others I've seen do 200s. I don't think I've seen anybody ever press more than 200.
Yeah, James and I do 200s almost every week. That's why we don't often film it, because we literally do it every week.
So to you, it's no big deal, but you got to realize to the rest of the world, to the mere mortals.
This is a problem James and I really have with people telling us how to train. They're like, "Oh, you don't need to be training that heavy, bro." And it's like, listen, motherfucker, right? Listen, 8 reps for you is not you. This guy is arguing with me.
Yeah,
8 reps for you is nowhere near as 8 reps. Just because you don't use the same weight that I do doesn't mean it's not the same. Just because you're a lot weaker than me doesn't mean you're not trying to go as heavy as you can go.
Right.
I'm just stronger. That's all it is. Yeah. I'm not deliberately trying to be a freak. All of my list. That's just how James and I train day in, day out.
Yeah.
We're not doing it just to try and lift more weight. That's just the weight we have to use for the reps we want to do. We do like when we do incline barbell, we get 10 to 12 reps now. That's not that heavy.
Right.
You know?
If you're getting 10 to 12 reps,
it's relative.
Yeah, you could put 5 plates on and get like 5 or 6 reps, but you don't.
No, I mean we probably will at some point. There'll be times when that's necessary, but 5 to 6 reps for most people is between 3 and 4 plates, right? On an incline barbell.
Well, I wouldn't say most people, but yeah, very strong.
No, I mean most bodybuilders.
Guys at your level, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Guys at my level, they're between 3 and 4 plates is about the average 3 to 6 reps. Or 4 to 6 reps, yeah. So if me and James do it for 5, we're just stronger. That's all that it means.
Yeah. Because, going back to Ronnie Coleman as an example, if you look at his videos, like 12 was his magic number on everything.
And he was
You
still
see
doing fucking 5 plates.
that's what I'm saying. So that
Yeah.
wasn't that heavy for him because he
No,
was still getting 12 reps with nobody
that's what I
helping
mean.
him.
He's just strong. And people don't seem to understand that the strength is relative. Look at the fucking size of him. He's huge. Well, he was. He's not now, he's obviously.
Right. Well, I'm still,
He's a
the
bit small.
guy's 50, 55,
He still has
57.
so much muscle. He still has so much muscle, and he's shredded as well.
I mean, you don't lose a lifetime of training like that.
No,
You're not going to lose it.
it is incredible.
Yeah, but when people tell you, you need to back off, you're training too heavy, you're going to hurt yourself. You haven't had any major injuries ever, have you?
No, not yet. Touch wood. Like, we are sensible. We warm up thoroughly, and we pre-exhaust the shit out of every body part.
Really?
Every body part we train is pre-exhausted heavily.
That's right, because I saw you and Ben doing. It was a back workout the other day.
Yeah,
I saw you were doing tons of
Yep.
pullovers. So chest, you do all your fly movements first.
Yep, we do a really, really heavy, not heavy, but we do an all-out. We do the pec deck, the machine fly.
Yeah.
So we do a max set of like 8 to 10 with really, really slow negatives. Like hold it at the top for like 4 or 5 seconds and just squeeze the shit out of everything. And then we'll do a second set, which is just as intense, just with a lighter load. So that's 2 like really brutal sets. Then we'll go in incline barbell press.
Now those,
and then
I got to ask, because the hack squats, I was freaked out because I've rarely seen anybody go that heavy. That 11 plates aside on a hack squat, that's outrageous. You were doing pre-exhaust like your quads, leg extensions before that?
Leg extensions and hamstring curls and adductors before that.
Wow. Okay.
So that's why what we're doing now is because we're getting really, really, because James did the same weight, I think.
Yeah.
And we're getting like 8. That's the goal was like 8 to 10. That means it's heavy it's a lot for us. It's a lot of weight, but for us, that's our 8 to 10 reps. We're not getting 1 or 2 shit reps. We're getting 8 to 10 perfect reps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, people find it hard people really can't relate because, like you said.
Yeah, it is really heavy. It is heavy. But now we've relegated it down the line of exercises. So we do leg press first because we never go heavy on leg press. We do like sets of 15 to 25 drop sets and all that stuff, bodybuilding basically. So that and then hack squats to stop us going to 11 plates.
Yeah, because
and we're doing the range up slightly as well, obviously.
If you're doing 11 plates after all that, I mean, you probably could do 13 or 14 if you were an egomaniac and began the leg workout with hack squats.
Yeah. And the other thing is as well, people don't understand. Everyone's like, well, we'll just do higher reps on the leg on the hack squat. Whoa. Our bodies are bigger. Our lungs are not. It's so the oxygen debt is horrendous on leg press alone. Yeah. So we've already done that on the leg press. To do it on the hack squat as well, due to how big our legs are, we would just fucking vomit and die.
I love the armchair quarterbacks, we call them, the critics. It's funny how you'll look in the comments on your videos and say, oh, you're doing that all wrong, or you do this or that, you need to change. And then
it's fucking annoying.
If they ever have a picture, you click on their profile and they're like 120 pounds soaking wet. Yeah. And they're telling this 300 pound top pro.
Yeah, you're not engaging your lats. Fuck off.
Yeah, were you the one that it was something that you were doing from the front? Was it Romanian deadlifts? And they were telling you it was all back or something. Was this you? And you said we filmed it from the front, fuck off, or something like that. I think you had
yeah, probably. But it's just everyone's just fuck off.
Oh, man.
It's annoying. I wouldn't go and just put my head into a mechanics and be like, oh, you're fixing that car wrong. I've never done anything with an engine. I'm just going to come here and tell you how to do your job.
Correct.
Or you wouldn't do it to a librarian. You would be like, that book's over there. I've never been in this library, but I assume it's over there. You can't do that because it's not your fucking job.
Yeah. Let me tell Phil Heath how to train triceps because he's doing it all wrong.
If I trained like Phil Heath does, I would be like nowhere near have as much muscle as I do now.
Yeah.
So I would say that training's bullshit. Is it? Because look at him. Obviously, it's not. It's like Branch Warren. Oh, his training sucks. Does it? Look at him. That's what made him look like that.
Yeah. I mean, I just interviewed Johnny Jackson the other day, and we talked about that, because people talk shit about how they train. I said, well, clearly look at the results, though. You can't argue with results.
Exactly.
If some guy's shredded like Andreas Munzer eating donuts and bagels every day, it works for him. You can't argue with it.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly. It's like if it has worked, it has worked. I know that sounds very cliche. There's probably numerous scientific reasons, but we have no idea what they are. All we know is we did that, and this is what we looked like. That's all that really matters.
So tell me about 2020, and you must be pretty psyched about this year to come, because this year, like you said, it was a good year, but you also had some learning experiences. It seems just like you're in a much better spot now to really come into your own and take things to the next level next season.
Classic way to put it. All I've done is I've taken things to the next level. Gone up a gear. This is probably 7th gear now. I think it is 7th gear because last year I was like, I found 6th gear. Yeah. So I used that last year. So this year it must. It's probably a 7th gear I found. I mean, there's probably an 8th gear. I haven't found it yet.
Because it seems like you got a great support system,
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. I'm gonna have you're close to the best gym in the UK.
Yeah. Yep.
You got Chris Aceto still coaching you. You got James Hollingshead in the gym with you every day.
Yep.
You got Aaron Singerman and Redcon 1 behind you.
Yes.
Everything's. It sems like perfectly in position for you to.
You say it like that. That means I have literally zero excuses. That's probably why I've actually said all this, told myself accountable. So if I do fail, which I'm not going to fail because I can't. Well, everyone could be like, well, it's because how can he fail? Because he like everyone fucking does with their opinions, and because they know it annoys me. Yeah, it annoys everyone.
And you're going to get bigger and bigger because you have a small dog.
Yeah, where is he? He's definitely behind me. I can hear him looking at me.
Most videos you walk that dog. You're doing the videos while you're walking that dog, correct?
Yeah.
Who's following you around filming all those all the time?
It's normally Rebecca Andrews. She's normally does the Redcon videos, and I also Chris Ashkettle, who does a lot of the others as well. He gives my fit visuals. So we have 2 videographers who work for Redcon for me, if that makes sense. They work for Redcon to film me.
I had to give them credit because you put out some great content. It's just
Yeah, and most of the ideas are not my ideas.
Oh, okay. I was giving you too much credit.
It's like what I mean is I don't come up. Sometimes I don't come up with it. If we do like a topic video, I haven't brought the topic up. The topics come to me, and they just want my answer.
Yeah, but that's you. You're not. It's not scripted.
Oh yeah.
There's no cue cards, right?
No. Well, it's like if somebody they said, what's my opinion on social media and bodybuilding? So that wasn't my idea to do that topic. They just said, do this topic. And I was like, give me a fucking camera and I can talk shit for 10 minutes. Go.
Yeah, but that's still that's a skill to take a topic and be able to really speak with any degree of clarity about it for 10 minutes the way you do.
I don't know if it is because I don't ever watch anything I've been in. So I won't. No offense. I'm not going to watch this podcast. I'm not going to watch it.
That's okay.
Because I can't do it.
You don't watch the ones you do with Fuad?
Definitely not. No way. I'm aware of how terrible they are when I'm on them. We're recording in probably about 10 minutes.
Oh, I better hurry up. But do you know Ronnie Coleman hasn't seen his movie? He's probably never going to. Because he can't watch himself.
Can you imagine if we watched it? It was like, this is real sad. Because it is. Because I was really upset at the end of that film. I was like, oh.
That was a bummer, that movie. Oh.
The same with Generation Iron.
Yeah.
Because it's like Hide, that bit when he's in the shower. It looks like they made it look like he's in the shower crying.
Yeah, he wasn't.
No, he was
Kai was in the shower looking miserable too in that movie.
Yeah. I bet you're so fucking miserable with your Muscle Meds contract.
Oh, geez. Well, anyway, if you've got to get on with that, I'm gonna wrap things up here. But man, we're all looking forward to 2020 because 2019, especially, I want you to look better and do better because I don't want people to always bring up the 2019 Arnold Classic to you. Say, man, the 2019 Arnold Classic, 2020.
I think that's what it's always going to be that way. It's always going to be that way. Even if I surpass that look, I'm still going to bring it up because that was the one that people will remember.
It was a big
show. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, but let's say you win British Grand Prix. Yep. Let's say you win that looking fantastic. Let's say you go on the Olympia. make top 5, top 6, looking fantastic again, I think people are going to reference those.
I think if that happened, that would possibly put me in that A list, maybe. I think. Because then I've solidified that because you've just done one hit, hop, skip, and a jump, and you're in the top 6.
Right.
And you've just come out of nowhere and you're like, I fucking belong.
No, I mean, I have you on the A list now. I think you're in that group. You didn't hit the mark at the Olympia, but if you had, there was no doubt in my mind you would.
But yeah, I mean, I posted a little snippet earlier today. I found it on my phone. It was from Tad, the diet coach. He sent it to me the other day, and I forgot he sent it to me, so I forgot I had it in my gallery. So I posted a little snippet of it today, and I was like, you know what? I don't look as shit as I remember. I'm not that good, but I'm not as bad as I remember, which is quite comforting.
Oh, I mean, it's people will hold you to a standard once you show people a certain look. That's what they want to see from then on, or better.
I remember feeling like I looked a lot worse because my midsection was so bloated and like from that bug. Because I tried to carb up and I still couldn't eat properly. Yeah. And I carved up for a day and then didn't eat for like 2 days, and my stomach was just it was like a rock. Like if anyone watched any of the Redcon 1 videos, one video was laxative shopping. So that was horrible. Being on that Olympia stage, you're trying to do a vacuum and you're like, oh. Yeah. So that just made me just feel like it's like, can you imagine just going out and eating a pizza and then going out and posing on a stage?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You'd feel awful.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do anything with your midsection.
And that's what it felt like. I was like, oh, Steve Weinberger, look at this gut. Ooh. That's what it felt like. You want a bit more, do you? Oh. Oh, Jim Mannion, look at this massive turtle. That's what it was like, and that's what it felt like. And I felt embarrassed up there actually, but it was a phenomenal experience. Like walking out on that stage, I was like, "Fuck!"
I mean, that was the warm up. That was a warm up Olympia for you. I do believe this 2020 Olympia coming up next year, that's going to be a much, much different Olympia for you.
I am in the best position I've ever been in to be successful this year. Yeah. This coming year, so it's up to me basically. Right
on. Well, I'm going to let you get going. I want everyone to check out Luke Sandoe on Instagram. It's just his name, no spaces. LukeSandoe. And Redcon 1 YouTube channel. He put out at least one video a week.
Great. There's so much on there. There's so much on there. It's so much. Cool stuff. There's so much. I'm going to have to do my own YouTube channel, which I am.
Cool. Well, wishing you the very best of luck, wrapping up the off season, starting your prep soon. We'll all be watching you, Luke. You have a lot of fans out there that want to see you do very well in this season coming up. So we're behind you, bro.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching Ronline Report with this man, Luke Sandoe. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, man.